Hello friends and welcome to another pro replay, and it's not really an analysis, we're just watching it. This time we're watching PPD play Pugna position 5, which I know is very uncommon, and that's kind of why I want to take a look at it. Because I kind of want to play Pugna in a position 4 role, so I watched one of those games the other day on stream, but I was looking for other support Pugnas, and it's not very common, so it's kind of hard to find. And PPD has been playing a couple Pugna games though, so maybe he's testing it out, seeing how it feels, and it has been done in the past. So let's see how it looks. So in this game, he is starting Boots and one Tango. I checked some of his other games just to make sure if he was doing this every time, and he doesn't. Other games, he goes like Fairy Fires, Iron Branches, maybe a Sage's Mask. I think in this game, because he's against Enigma and Tiny, he realizes there's honestly not much he can do in this game. Or in the lane anyways. There's really not much you can do to control in Enigma unless you're a honestly every support struggles with it. Unless you have really good wave clear really early, it's really hard to deal with Eidolons and the fact that Enigma can push or pull the lane as he wants, and the forward position only needs to block the camps, body blocking them, which means that he could start with a sentry to make sure a small camp's not blocked, but it doesn't matter because at this level, Tiny should just do it with his body. So there's no way, like this is all Tiny needs to do in the lane is to stop small pulls from happening. And so I think PPD realizes that, and so he's gotten Boots to just run around the map as much as possible, or not around the map, but like in this top part of the lane, and just like all these free auto attacks right now. He wouldn't get as many if he didn't have these Boots and have this crazy move speed, especially because Tiny also started Boots. So Tiny has 345, and without Boots, Pugna actually would be slower. So this is interesting to me. He uses the blast on the wave. I suppose he has to do that. This is why it's so hard. Look at that. The very first wave is already 2 creeps to 4. What's going to happen to this wave? It's going to shove in. It's going to shove in really hard. And who's going to do anything about it? Not PPD, because he can't do this small pull because Tiny is about to block it here, I would imagine. And in fact, I don't really expect much to happen in this lane besides a bunch of auto attack trades, so we're going to play at like 1.5 speed. Looks like he buys another set of tangos, knows that, probably can't get away with just one tango throughout the whole laning phase. He gets another set, gets one Iron Branch, some stats. Maybe you can use it with the tangos too on the last one. And a Clarity. He has been casting Decrepify a lot. Or, I'm sorry, Nether Blast. He's been using it to harass a bit. And I guess it doesn't matter. Like, the lane is already pushing, so if you push it a little more and run it under his tower, that helps to reset it. Because the very first wave, he denied 2 creeps, and that's going to shove the lane really hard. But then it's going to, like, balance out a little outside the tower, and that's dangerous for Spectre. So if you shove it all the way in, because Enigma's up here, he doesn't have time to deny 2 creeps. He can only deny 1 from every creep wave now. To deny 2, you have to start right here and then like deny them as you go, which means that for over here, if you shove it in and reset the lane equilibrium, and this guy continues to deny 1 creep, it will still push into the the Radiant, but it'll be slower, and that gives Spectre more time to farm safely up there. So I think it's okay to shove the lane in like this with all those Nether Blasts. Plus he has this Clarity to use up soon. Hey, where's Tiny going? Hey, look at that. He's going to body block and prevent any kind of pulls from happening. Looks like PPD just wants to harass him. He's got the faster move speed, so you can get away with all this. Now he's going to use the Clarity. Now that Tiny is gone, can't use like Avalanche or Toss to cancel it. He's going for a hard pull. I think he's like a second late though. Oh, got the range group. Oh, the range. Oh, okay, let's watch this. I believe the range creep lost sight for a little bit here. Yeah, he lost sight and the aggro cooldown I think was over. So he ended up just coming back to lane. That's pretty unfortunate. I wonder if he was trying to just get... I mean, I myself sometimes don't really remember this pull timing, so I don't expect PPD to know every single pull timing. But then again, he is a pro, so maybe he does know every single pull timing. And so I wonder if he intentionally tried to just get the range creep. Because Enigma, when he denies stuff, he's probably denying the range creep. So if you just deny the range creep as well, I guess that would balance out the wave. But why not try to deny like 2? Maybe that's what he was going for. Is he gonna die here? It's a lot of Eidolon damage. Oh, crazy move speed. Oh, careful. You gotta be really careful. Tiny is only level 1 though. If he was level 2, he could die. Might still die. Uses the Iron Branch for regen. I wonder if he would have done that if he wasn't so low. I kind of feel like you wouldn't, right? If you didn't need to use the Iron Branch, then you wouldn't. But because he was so low from that Eidolon plus Malefice combo, and he doesn't want to run home, even though he's fast, you know, that's a waste of his time. He should at least be here, like, auto-attacking Tiny. I'm going to guess he used the Iron Branch for that. And if he didn't need to, he probably would have just kept it. That's my guess anyways. Oh. Runs far enough away to make sure that he can turn around and cast Decrepify without getting auto-attacked, and then gets in a bit of free harass, Decrepify plus another blast. Because he has the mana, and he's leaving the lane, so you might as well do a bit of harass to Tiny, and then you're going to regen all the way up anyways. I cannot believe Spectre just solo killed an Enigma. That's pretty crazy. Oh, good support. Buys a salve for his Spectre. Back to chasing the Tiny a little bit. Another blast these creeps. Oh, it gets an Eidolon. Eidolons are worth a decent chunk of money. It's pushing pretty heavily. Look how aggressively they're playing. This is something you never see in lower ranked games. And that even includes my games. Like, it's very scary to do this. This is something I need to practice and work on understanding tower aggro. But from my understanding, within this 500 units, all these creeps are attacking the tower. So the tower will prioritize these creeps over these heroes. So I think that's why they're able to, like, go under and auto attack him. But it's something I honestly need to practice a bit more. I kind of like this. He hid like that. He wasn't sure if Tiny saw him place that ward, so he hid here so that Tiny would run by. If he had ran away, Tiny would run up here and see him running away, and that might suggest to Tiny that, okay, Pugna was in this area. He may have warded. But by hiding here, letting Tiny run by, and now leaving, Tiny may not see him. It looks like Tiny probably still sees him through here, actually, though. But, you know, the attempt that counts. Well, free auto attacks again. A lot of them, really. That was like 4 or 5. Plus 2 Nether Blasts. Gonna get the bounty rune. Maybe both. Oh? Pugna's so fast, guys. It's absurd. I really like fast heroes. It's pretty fun. And Pugna has really long auto attack range, too. I think he felt safe to do this because he had the ward and he was a little faster. Okay, they get a pull off. Uh-oh. She's looking a little dead. I don't know if he could decrepify her there because she would just be slowed and she would be in Enigma stuff. And then because she's slowed, they just catch up to her and then auto attack when the decrepify ends. So interesting. I feel like you should always place the sentry first, you know? Oh, what if you'd grab some of those items right there? I feel like you should always sentry first to see if they have a ward. Uh-oh. Okay, Spectre's gonna die. Enigma trying to split up his Eidolon so that they don't all get farmed too easily. So Spectre died, but they get a return kill. That probably benefits Enigma. I mean, either way, at the end, it's probably not the biggest deal because you do have a Spectre at the end of the day, and she kind of feel like wins this game in the late game. You do have to worry about anti-mage. You know, if anti-mage has a good time in the... Let's check the net worth. If anti-mage... he is kind of having a good time. So if anti-mage has a good time around the... No, at this level, I would expect the 25-minute mark for anti-mage to start to come online with the Battle Fury Manta Basher. And let's go... 7 minutes. I actually don't have a good estimate for. I only know like okay, a battlefield around like 12 minutes is a good time. I'm not sure where these items fall into play.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Is this a position for Ember Spirit?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Wild, guys. What did we just see? We didn't see much because I only had the vision to the to this, but that's crazy.
Radiant's bottom
But the point is, looks like Anti-Mage is actually now behind Spectre, so that's good for them. Because if Anti-Mage hits that timing around 25 to 30 minutes, Spectre, at least in the past, was not quite online yet, so she could lose to Anti-Mage in that timing. Nowadays, Spectre comes online a little faster. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think that the later you go, the more it favors Spectre. But between having an Anti-Mage and Monkey King, and then a sick Enigma combo, like they could win the late game too, I think. You know, you got Snapfire, which is pretty good, but I would say maybe Darkseer doesn't fall off. Actually, Darkseer's illusions are pretty good against Anti-Mage. Okay, what else did... sorry. I was too busy thinking about the rest. So, after the Tranquil Boots, bought Raindrops and a Magic Stick. I think those are fine. Magic Stick. Eventually, first of all, Magic Stick is just good in general, but then he casts a spell every single creep wave to deny a creep, and Tiny has a like double combo, 2-spell combo. All these guys, you know, Rubik, Tiny, Enigma, they cast a decent amount of spells. Anti-Mage blinking around, cast spells. Monkey King jumping around. I think that counts as... I'm not sure, actually. I think that counts. But I guess you don't see Monkey King jumping around, so maybe that's why you wouldn't get ward charges. But point is, they have enough spells, so it's like... It's almost always a good Magic Stick game. Plus, with an Anti-Mage, you can drain mana. It's really good to have a Magic Stick to refill at least some mana, so you can get like maybe one more spell off. I wouldn't be surprised to see this turn into a magic wand, actually, because of that. You want as many charges as you can. The Raindrops are just good because this guy is a burst combo kind of guy, and so you remove 120 damage from that burst, you survive, and it'll be kind of something like we saw earlier, where he barely survives, and then he's just faster than everyone else, so he runs away. So that's what he's going for. He's trying to survive and then live, and plus, you just go through a lot of mana as Pugna, so it's good to have the mana regen. You buy some Nether Windlace, which is we were talking about this earlier in the Discord. I think it's okay, especially if you, depending like what else you're gonna buy. I think it's pretty decent. And in this case, looks like he's TPing into this fight. In this case, I would say that it's fine because he's probably gonna go for like an Aether Lens, and then you still have like, you know, let's say this is an Aether Lens, then you still have one slot open for wards, and then like when you need another consumable, you like swap it in. And Raindrops will break eventually, so that'll free up another slot. So, I don't know. You know, he doesn't have other small items he needs to buy and fill in. So, I kind of like this Windlace to just, like, really cap in on the move speed. And I quickly checked. He always takes the move speed talent. Or at least, you know, always in the 3 games I checked. He always takes this move speed talent. So, it looks like he's just, like, doubling down on a ton of move speed. Just try to be faster than everyone else. And that will be his survivability. I kind of want to go back and see, because he was pushing this on his own. Okay, so Enigma. So we're watching PPD's vision. I'm trying to understand why he decided to rotate here versus keep pushing this lane on his own. Because it looks like Enigma is up top. So even if Pugna pushes, he probably won't take much tower damage because Enigma is here to defend. But if I look at this kill, I see that kind of looks like Monkey King's dead. And then this guy teleports in, PPD. I guess it's that he probably wouldn't get much tower damage top. He's already level 6, so he doesn't need the solo XP. So by TPing in here, he can contribute to this fight, maybe like heal up a teammate, and then he can help take this tower. Because actually, Spectre and Ember don't do much to the tower, Snapfire does a little bit, but yeah, it looks like she didn't take Lil Shredder, so she actually doesn't do that much tower damage. Lil Shredder helps you take towers by slowing the tower's attack speed and reducing. Actually, does it still? Oh no, it changed, right? Oh god, there's so many changes in this game. I forgot this actually doesn't slow down attack speed. It actually just reduces armor. So it is still good for taking towers, but it's because it makes the tower weaker, not because in the before it was because it slowed the tower's attack speed for a little bit, and then it wouldn't kill your creep as fast. But point is, his team has no tower damage, so I think he wants to come here because the fight is going to be won, and then he wants to contribute some tower damage with Nether Blast. So there's the Monkey King kill. Follow up Rubik kill, and here's the tower damage. Tower damage. Time it? No? I'm surprised he didn't do like one more there. But maybe he thought the fight was gonna break out, so he wanted to oops. Decrepify him? There we go. Suck him! Nope. I mean, he tried, but didn't get the kill. Oh, caught in the black hole. Pretty good Darkseer. Darkseer's ult called. Forget. Wall of Replica. Right. Right. Man, you can never see Darkseers nowadays. I forget all his abilities. Okay, I would expect the build is like almost always Glimmer or Aether Lens every time I see a Pugna, so that's what I expect to see. Hey, look at that, surviving because of the raindrops. I believe, right? Whoop. Oh yeah, survived because of those raindrops. Look at that, minus 120. So he survives here, gets a return kill. That's pretty much what those raindrops were for. I mean, you don't expect to get a kill every time a raindrops goes off, but the plan is to survive those kind of combos. And right there, you see exactly how it can pay off. Not too many wards, but look, he's got one ready and they've smoked up. So their plan is to get a kill and hopefully place a deep ward. Okay, not that deep of a ward, but also harder to do without smoking. So still kind of happy about that. Kind of a tough kill. Oh, they get it. Let's see how they know. Did Aeon blink here? Oh, they did. Okay, okay. They didn't ping it, so I wasn't sure. I'm imagining they see AM blink here, and that means he is weak for 6 seconds, and that's why they can do this. If this guy had blink, I don't think he should die. Right, he would blink out like right around there. Oh, actually, he still vacuumed wall him. Maybe he wouldn't have died, or maybe he would have died even with blink. They actually kind of chained it quite well. Helps that he didn't have blink though, for sure. All right, PPD, are you gonna get Aether Lens or Glimmer? I always see those two items on Pugna. It looks like he's going Aether. I think Aether just has really good synergy. Your cast ranges are actually quite short. And having more cast range is just really helpful to stay in the back lines. As a core and as a support. Cutting the creep wave here. I guess Spectre did back off to go farm her jungle. So it's not like she's going to be here. But I guess you could have let it push out further. And then Spectre can make her way back to the lane. But I think by cutting it here, you just create a bit more pressure for your team and force someone else down here. Whereas otherwise, the enemy team would have had time to like, because if no one deals with it bottom and Spectre goes to farm, the lane like slowly pushes here. That gives the enemy team like a minute or two before they have to deal with bottom lane again. But by cutting the wave and pushing it in, like it's already next to their tower almost. So they have to respond in the next like 30 seconds or they take tower damage and lose out on a lot of creeps. Let's see if PPD keeps going. Maybe he plays the deep ward in this time. Hey, look at that, because you see the whole enemy team here. So I feel like I should make a video on this soon, but I think it comes up a lot in our replay analyses and analyses. I don't know why I do that every time. Analyses and in this stuff too. Like there's stuff you can sometimes do and stuff you can always do. And so when you see all the heroes here, you can now, you pretty much have free reign of this whole jungle. And so he comes in to place a deep ward. And I think that's really good. And I kind of wouldn't be surprised if he goes and places another one. But it looks like he's running to join the team. Oh, look at that. Huh? Maybe? Oh, he's checking. Okay, he's checking for high ground. Checking all the wards. By the way, for his build, I saw PPD do this for all of his. I'm kind of curious what happened here. He's like sending his courier to come check this high ground, but then he's leaving. That's a little peculiar to me. And maybe he knew the enemies were coming, so he decided to ditch out, and they didn't have time to fix his courier positioning. I kind of think, I guess he thought of it a little like a second late. He probably should have had the courier here, drop the sentry, check here, then move the courier over. But he probably thought of it like after the courier had already started to walk back. So he did see, maybe he was getting chased by Monkey King, maybe he didn't see, but his courier was on the high ground. There is a ward there, and then it got killed, so he should know that they have vision there. And I believe he wanted to check that area, and then if there was nothing there, I bet he would have placed a ward. Or after dewarding it, he might have gone and placed like a sneakier one somewhere else outside the range. Holding his ult. I'm trying to see like when he chooses to ult. Alright, Rubik just got a great steal. Does not ult this time. Uses Nether Blast to push the wave into the tower. Very low on mana here though. Can't actually contribute much tower damage. It looks like Rubik's gonna defend this tower. Oh, the courier's dead. No regen. You can go buy the Void Stone. Buy the Void Stone? Yeah. I missed the timing, I didn't see it. That's good to go check the rune first. AM still got it, but like, what if AM had been a second slower? Then he would have got it first. Ooh, ah! Oh man, that was a roller coaster of emotions right there. Thought he was gonna get that Enigma kill. The reason you get the Void Stone first is because you need mana regen more than you need total mana pool. Not sure what was going on there. Check out the carriers are doing. So we're almost at Manta on Spectre, Blade Mail Manta, and this guy still quite a ways off from his own Manta. Now Battle Fury is more expensive, and you can see their net worths are quite similar. But at this rate, yeah, AM could still hit his like 25 timing, but Spectre doing pretty well. She's at the top of the net worth. As an anti-mage, I think you want to be ahead of Spectre at this point. But being this close isn't too bad either. AM can now farm faster than Spectre can, so we'll see how that plays out. I do think PPD's team is probably feeling like pretty decent right now, though. Okay, got enough gold to get his Aether Lens, and then I wonder what he'll get after that. I kind of forget. I didn't. I sort of checked at the start, but then I also didn't. Filling the bottle for your teammates, very nice. Let's see what neutral items he ends up picking. Because now that tier 2s are out, he's going to be able to get one. So for his wards, he's been putting a couple defensive ones. And in other cases, he places the sentry first to check and then the ward. He's done that a couple times now. Or I guess one he did it in this mid lane. He did it here because you have to do that to check the high ground. Which tells me he was going to put that ward on the high ground anyways. And against Monkey King, that's pretty good because you can only see Monkey King if you have like these high ground wards to spot him in the trees. And so I think for a defensive ward, it kind of needs to be on the cliff against the Monkey King. Free Rubik kill. Lost the mid tower though. I wonder if that was worth it. Like a 4-man rotation for the Rubik for a mid tower. They got more kills out of it in the end. I'm guessing they would have liked to not lose their mid tower, though. I don't know why he placed his ward there. His nether ward. Maybe because his team was still going to play in this area, so he wanted to drop the ward to deter the enemy. You know, if they're in the area and they see they're being affected by nether ward, maybe they get a little scared. Maybe we should have been watching the position 4 Embers perspective, guys. Forget Pugna support. Let's go learn Ember Spirit. I think he just like a max root and stuff. I don't actually know. Oh, you know what? We can check. We have the technology. Oh, you still max Sleight of Fist. I guess you just harass with Sleight of Fist. Do you have the mana for that? Sleight of Fist and root. And then you get Flame Guard later. Skip your talents. A 0.8 Searing Chain. If you're maxing Searing Chain, why not another 0.8? That seems good. Wild. By the way, PPD's build always seems to skip Nether Ward. Always being those 3 games I watched, he leaves it off till like level 8, which I think is pretty interesting. I forget who we were watching when we watched the position 4 Pugna game. Maybe it was Cinderin. I'm not quite sure. But they got an early point of Nether Ward and they would use it in the lane a lot. In this game, I can understand why he didn't do that. It's like not so useful against Enigma and Tiny because they don't really have to cast spells if they don't want to. Like Enigma can cast his Eidolon spell very safely away from the ward, and like Tiny, if he sees that ward, he just doesn't have to do his combo, right? He wasn't doing much in that lane anyways. So I think as a position 5, it's also harder. As the position 4, they would push the lane into the tower, and then he would drop the ward. Here, let me show you guys. They would push the lane in, and then he would like put the ward in this area. And it made a lot of sense because the enemy is stuck under this tower while they deal with this creep wave. So they're affected by the mana drain. But against as like a position 5, I think it's not so easy because it's already up here, which means like, where do you put the ward? I guess you could put it here, but that's very, very easy to be killed off by the enemy. And even in these trees, still kind of easy for them to get to. And it also makes you have to like run around awkwardly. I guess you could put it here, but then at that point, like they can just step back, step in, farm, step out, step in. And you don't really have that choice as the safe lane as much. Well, maybe you do. I think it's just harder to do though. So I wonder if like position 5 Pugnas just won't do that, but position 4 Pugnas will. Farming a little bit here. It's kind of interesting. That was definitely taking some farm from his cores. Like Darkseer could have farmed that right now. And you see we still have a lot of time till the camps respawn. Kind of interesting that he was farming it. I guess Pugna is a greedy support anyways. There's your Blade Mail dispersion damage coming into play. This Ember 4 is kind of working out. I think that's kind of a waste of Anti-Mage's time. Yeah, so last time we checked in at 16 minutes. It was close to 17, I think. He didn't have the Manta, now has it. Has surpassed Spectre a little bit. So right now, I do think that Anti-Mage can farm a bit faster than a Spectre. Turns out he's going Scotty instead of Basher. That probably makes sense. That's probably pretty good against Pugna healing the teammates. Like if he tries to man fight Spectre and this guy's just healing Spectre, that sucks. Plus you need to tank up to deal with dispersion. So Scotty, probably a good pickup. And even if you bash someone like Ember, he's going to get away. Bash someone like Spectre once or twice, she might still Spectral Dagger away. So I think the Basher probably doesn't have as much value. Or someone like Darkseer who can like haste run away. The slow from Scotty might just be better. Like a similar effect to the Basher, plus just more survivability and stats. Okay, what next for your team? Probably waiting for all the ults. Spectre Haunt's still down, but they decide to smoke up anyways. Kind of interesting. I guess Enigma's black hole is also down, right? So they probably feel stronger with the Snapfire ult and no Spectre ult than they feel with like no Enigma ult and like what's their next big ult? Monkey King ult? The Monkey King just used his ult there and didn't do much. So that's probably why they were willing to smoke up. Snapfire, Ags, and ult is pretty strong. It's actually really strong. It's gonna get nerfed in 2 weeks, I'm sure. It's too bad. Probably the damage or the stun on the Ags. Alright, so his sentry just got killed there, so he knows they have a sentry somewhere there. He's coming back bottom. 2 heroes in this game are getting nerfed, at least. Spectre and Snapfire. Ah, that's a shame. Like, this core Snapfire trend is gonna get our support Snapfire nerfed. It's too bad. I like Snapfire. I haven't been playing for that much lately though, so maybe if they buff some of our other heroes, I won't care. I didn't talk about it for a while. He's had Scythe queued up. I wasn't mentioning it for a bit to see if he was like actually going to do it or if he would switch. I mean, I guess if you think about it, who are you trying to kill? You got to kill this anti-mage. An anti-mage is very mobile, which means that what are your stuns? You've got the root from Ember, but that can be dispelled with a Manta. You've got the vacuum from Pugna, which is going to provide like all of like, what is it, half a second? It doesn't even say. It's less than half a second, the stun from being pulled into vacuum. The Snapfire stun, like, these are pretty decent, but it's kind of hard to land this one on a very mobile hero, and then, like, she needs to be within range to use this. So picking up another non-dispellable stun makes sense to me to kill... Yeah, see! I knew it. Makes sense to me, but decides to go for the Glimmer Cave anyways. I got baited. I waited all that time, and then he still switched up on me after I decided to talk about it. I think the Glimmer just works really well. You can use it while channeling your ult, so you can use it on yourself. I think you can even use it on allies even, but it's just like a pretty decent survivability item. And I believe... I have to double check this now, guys. But I'm pretty sure Life Drain, you can reduce the damage it deals to you. So when you heal someone, you Glimmer yourself, and it hurts you less. Though actually, I think it then drains... It then heals less, if I recall. I have to look into this. I'll check later, guys. I don't want to edit this video, though, so I'm not going to pop it up here. I'll put it in the description, though. You can check now, and I'll let you know. Okay, getting the bottom. They have Spectral. Waiting for a... Oh, they just used it. They can still fight, though, I think, because Spectral is just really strong. But maybe against Enigma, you want to wait for everything. Unless you can get, like, a pick-off. Hey, looks like they're going for just that. That was crazy damage, actually. I guess they had the AM illusion. And what Spectre got? Ooh, Diffusal. That's pretty cool. Because if you drain all his mana, that's another way to deal with his mobility. He's got no mana to blink around. That's pretty cool. I like that. I haven't seen that too much. I don't know if that's like the trend now, but it's pretty cool. Between the wall, the illusion of AM hitting what's his name, and then Spectre's Diffusal. You can just like burn off all his mana really quickly, and then he's no longer this mobile hero. Placing a defensive Nether Ward to get away. Now you have an idea of where Monkey King is. Alright. Free Monkey King kill. What just happened to his ult there? I went too far back. Okay, so free kill here. I'm so confused. I think he accidentally hit an illusion and then stopped immediately. in shame. No, and because he is like, it's more useful to auto attack. I think he accidentally walked into that. I wonder if that was intentional. I also did not realize when I started to play Pugna, when I played that one Pugna game on stream, I did not realize you could kill yourself with healing. I wonder if he intentionally did that. I don't know why though. You have tranquil boots. You could just, you know, you could just keep up with the push. I don't know if it was that important to heal your Spectre. This guy trying to cut the creep wave. I think that's who got away from PPD in the trees earlier. Spectre Haunt. It's worth it if you could kill the AM. It's going to be tough though. Aether Lens. Or, I'm sorry, not Aether Lens. What's this thing called again? Aeon Disk, that's what I meant. I've seen that a couple times on support Pugna as well. I wonder if you can keep healing through the Aeon. I'll test that interaction and put it in the description as well. While you're sucking someone off, by the way, you keep true sight of them if they go in this. It kind of looks like they're gonna win, either on this push or soon after. Because AM's still dead for 30 seconds, so you could probably take like, well, if you get distracted like this, it's not really a distraction. You're like winning the fight while AM's dead, and then you have to convert it into buildings. So as long as they do that and they're high enough level to do so, yeah, they can get like multiple racks here. I think the enemy team should have just waited. They should have waited for Aeon Team Age before fighting. Like just give up 1 or 2 racks. 1 racks, and then probably midway through the second racks, that's when you fight. But I think they were like looking for a side pick off, and then they're gonna lose now for it. Because Anti-Mage was their strongest hero, and without him, you know, you're never gonna win a direct fight. I didn't really think about it, but playing against Spectre as Enigma must be really annoying. Because you like get the perfect black hole and you're still gonna die to like Blade Mail and Dispersion. That's pretty irritating. I want to play around with Pugna support more because this got reduced to 7 seconds. I mean, it's been a while since that happened, but because it got reduced to 7 seconds, it seems so... It seems possible, like, to always heal people up like this. And it was a thing for a while. I briefly recall people building, like, multiple sets of Tranquil Boots on Pugna, but then I think they nerfed his healing a little bit. Something like that. So what do we learn from this game? I don't think this is something you do every game, but against Enigma plus, so this is the recap, against Enigma plus, and it could have been Tiny, but it could have been any support that is just going to body block the small camp and then roam, which is technically any 4 support, but I think of like heroes like Tiny, Bounty Hunter, Earth Spirit, Earth Shaker, those kind of heroes who like, you're not going to do that much in the lane with an Enigma, and so your only job is to block the camp. Plus, they are, the ones I listed are all melee heroes. So Pugna, as long as he's faster than them, he's extremely safe. He's never really going to do anything to Enigma. And it's not like, I assume you don't know that you're going against Enigma when you pick Pugna. So because you can't do anything against Enigma, and then you realize there's honestly not much you can do to stop one of these melee supports from body blocking a camp. You can only get in auto attacks and try to slowly chip them down so that they can't keep doing it. And we saw PPD try to do that. He just chased the Tiny around, got in tons of auto attacks, but still, like Enigma just controls the wave, and that's pretty hard to deal with. And so because of that, I don't think you play the lane and you don't need these early stat items. And so he was able to do like a boot start, and then he bought like more tangos after that. But in other games, I did see him build more stats, and I think you can do that when the lane is going to be a little bit more competitive. Not someone like Enigma who kind of just like guarantees the lane he wants, as long as you have a 4 support to then go block the small camp. If they don't block the small camp, then you just do a lot of half pulls and you keep up with Enigma that way. Spectre had a pretty decent time. Anti-Mage was doing okay too. And then how'd they transition this? They kind of just made plays around Snapfire ult and Spectre ult. I wish this wasn't meant to be like a. If this had been more replay analysis, we would have tried to pay a bit more attention to it. I was just trying to watch what Pugna was doing all the time. But if we went back, I'm not going to do it. But if we went back, you would kind of see them make space for Spectre. It's kind of how you're supposed to play, and try to chase the anti-mage around. And we did see them. We saw like 3 of them go for kills a lot. The Pugna, Ember Spirit, and Darkseer, they would kind of go for kills on their own, try to find people, get these like small kills that don't commit the whole team, right? They didn't lose any big fights, but those 3 heroes, they're like kind of expendable to an extent, so they can risk these like smaller engagements, try to find a pick off, try to like back off if it ends up being bigger than they want. And they just kind of like made space and won team fights that way. And I feel like they got a couple good pickoffs. In fact, they did. They were able to get several good pickoffs, and I feel like that kind of snowballed them into a win. And then the Monkey King like weirdly died with Aegis, and the enemy team wasn't ready, and they just kind of like lost. So after watching this, do I think Pugna 5 is good? I don't know. It seems like it kind of works out in this game. I don't really know if it was the Pugna pick though. It kind of feels like Spectre and Snapfire were a lot of what won this game. But I think it could work in lower MMRs for sure, because you can solo push really quickly. And you essentially are a core, right? So I might try it out. I might try it out a couple times. I'll come back with more feedback. It was pretty interesting. And mainly what I look for in these games is how to play the lane, and what I learned from this game is like, if you see an Enigma and Tiny, you can get boots. So that's cool. But it seems like you wouldn't do that in many other lanes. But I still think you play a similar way. You just try to get in a lot of auto attacks, nether blasts, and probably do a lot of pulls too. Like I think you can harass and then go pull, because you're such a fast hero. You can spend a lot of time doing both. You can actually harass and pull, and because you're so fast, you like sprint between both, and you can actually manage everything. So I might give it a shot. You guys can give it a shot too if you want. I think it's pretty interesting. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time in whatever we do. Bye.